now we're recording.
I almost want to say Merry Christmas again.
Then say it. I mean, it's not accurate.
It's not at the time of recording.
It's not applicable. Well, nor is it at the time of release.
Well, no, but if someone listens to this next Christmas, it would be applicable.
Sure. Have a safe Halloween. Remember to double check all your children's candy. It's actually an urban legend.
Which part?
Well, it was an urban legend up until like a couple years ago.
Oh.
So like 2-3 years ago, the statistics on razor blades and candy had never happened. It was not a thing.
Is that what we're checking for?
Yeah, I mean, that's the old wives' tale.
Oh, because I don't even know what my parents were checking for, to be quite honest. I thought it was like
happiness.
if a bag was like partially opened or tampered with was like what they were looking for.
Because there's like needles or razor blades.
I thought it was, okay. I thought it was just like injected with like ketamine or something.
Well, yeah. I mean, not every family has access to ketamine. But yeah, no. And then like 3 years ago or something, all of a sudden there was like 4 cases of it in the United States.
That's
all of a sudden people decided, hey, razor blades and candy. That's the thing we do. Yeah, it sucks.
No, I want to say Merry Christmas just because of the amount of snow outside. Like, it seems like every day my son wakes up and he's like, is today the real Christmas? And I'm like, buddy, it's happened. And it's just,
I'm sorry your mother and I failed Christmas. And so now you're waking up each day going like,
well,
okay, but do I get more presents today?
Well, I think that's the thing. Cause like kids, it's not just like Christmas Day. It's like, okay, at this family event or this family event, it turns into like 3 or 4 days of consecutive present opening.
Yeah.
So then it's just like, is today the real Christmas? I don't know. But the snow is just nuts.
Yeah.
It is where we live in this region at the time of recording. It's winter.
You know what, though? I don't mind it.
I am.
Because
I'm done with it.
Yeah, but you know what? We've had such a mild winter so far.
You're right.
Like, we haven't had a dumping.
I know.
And so now we've had like 2 or 3 days of consistent snow. And I'm like, what? And it's in the crap. This is the crap week. This is the purgatory week anyways.
Right. Oh, you're talking like the limbo week between Christmas and New Year's. Yeah.
This is, and people are like, well, I have to get to work. Listen.
You don't.
If you have a job where you've been scheduled this week, sort your shit out. This is a week for you to feel bad about the weight you've put on. Think to yourself, I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to eat a little healthier. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to try to. Meanwhile, you're eating beef jerky and peanut M&Ms out of your stocking all week instead of having a well-balanced lunch.
That sounds delightful.
It has been. Hello and welcome to the Movie Men Podcast.
Welcome to the Movie Men Podcast. I am Peter.
Oh, I said the full thing.
I know.
Hello and welcome.
That's okay. Welcome to the Movie Men Podcast. I am Peter. My beef jerky M&M eating co-host is Brady.
To be fair, it was I made the beef jerky. So
that's respectable.
Yeah.
Any specific flavors or just like normal?
I did honey garlic for those that are
that are what? What do you? I don't even know where you're going.
I made too big of a deal out of this now. It's a word that I know we've used on the podcast before and have not edited out, and so I think I'm just gonna say it.
Okay.
I made honey garlic for those that are pussies.
Okay.
And can't handle the
like spicy,
the spiciness.
Gotcha. So you did a spicy ranch too.
Yep. I did sweet Thai chili for those that are wanting to not appear to be a total wimp, but also still are not looking to dive too deeply in.
Right.
And then much to my chagrin, my spicy version was still just buffalo because I still want, I was gifting it and I still wanted it to be
appealing to
consumer friendly.
Average people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. None of the death sauce from our chicken wing adventure.
I have only fond memories of that. Maybe it's just like my survival biology kicking in that's like whitewashed away some of the memories of it, but it was fun.
I depend on stuff like that because it means you're likely to try it again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
If you misremember it as, oh, what a hoot.
Yeah.
then that's more content.
Yeah. Well, we're here to review the most recent release of Avatar, the third film in the series, Fire and Ash. Obviously, James Cameron's, I don't even know what I'd call it, his poster child series, his
maybe the last a depressing thought in the shower this morning was like maybe his last hurrah. Like,
we'll talk about that. Actually, I'm not sure. Maybe, like, who knows?
Which is
in the world of things of unknown. Who knows?
Thought.
Who knows? It's possible. I don't think it will be, but also who knows?
Right.
But yeah, we're here to review the new release. Yeah,
a franchise that there's like it's this franchise for this podcast is like that cousin that we used to see every year at Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Didn't get along.
Sure.
She was like 4 years older than us. She pantsed us that one year.
Oh, that was
right.
Broke your toys.
Broke your
when
toys.
You were over. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden one year at Thanksgiving, it was like, oh, she's undergone some changes. She's not how I remember her. I don't think I'm supposed to feel this way about my cousin.
What are you talking about?
I'm just trying to make you uncomfortable.
Mission accomplished.
Is it working? No, but like, so historically on the podcast, since the podcast's inception, I wouldn't say I hated Avatar.
Yeah, I would. For me.
I would say that I found a lot of joy in shitting all over it.
Sure.
And that I thought it was nothing if not super overrated.
Yes.
Then it came time for Avatar: Way of Water. Mm-hmm. And so we went back and rewatched and I think reviewed the first Avatar.
I don't remember, or we heavily talked about it. Regardless.
We maybe heavily talked about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I got to eat my words a little bit here.
Right.
I got to, like, it's still, I still think anything that has that level of craze is destined to be overhyped. So I still thought it fell in the overhyped category.
Sure.
But I didn't think it was the boring crap that I had been led to believe by my misremembering.
Right.
Then we saw Avatar: Way of Water. I came out of that film kind of singing the praises.
You were, yeah.
I was like,
yeah, you were.
Avatar: The Way of Water is not only definitely better than the first one.
Sure.
Is a visual leap forward.
Yeah.
Because when, like, you go back and you watch the first Avatar now and you're like, okay. Like, I can see how this was a big deal at the time.
2009. Man.
It's not wowing me anymore. Avatar: Way of Water did. And I really liked it. I thought there was more substance there. It you know, the addition of Jake and Neytiri having a family and those dynamics, seeing Jake as a father and navigating that, I was like, this is a cut above. And so I went into Fire and Ash kind of excited.
Yeah.
Like I almost felt more personal buzz than what I was picking up on from the general public. Yeah. Because obviously Avatar: Way of Water had a lot of buzz going into it because it was the long-awaited sequel to...
Long anticipated.
The James Cameron's masterpiece, blah, blah, blah. People who had clearly never seen Titanic or Terminator 2 or The Abyss or any of the other films James Cameron had made.
Is The Abyss good? I was just checking out his filmography. It intrigues me.
It's iconic.
Is it? Okay.
You know. But I mean, when you've only made 9 films in 40 years.
Yeah.
Then
a heavy punching 9.
Yeah. So initial impressions?
Yeah, I'm going to hijack. I know you always go first for initial impressions. I've got to take it here. And this is...
Do you have a hot take? Are you hot taking it?
It's not... you'll see what... This is... it's a hot take in the form of an intervention. This isn't for you. This isn't for the listener. This is for James Cameron himself. So I hope he listens to this. I hope he can learn from this.
I have a feeling I know.
Listen,
where this is going.
I've made notes just so I remember to say everything I need to say. Listen, I've become so numb to the Avatar experience.
Oh, wow.
I've become so numb.
I don't know if we've carved out enough time today to talk about this film.
Listen, James Cameron, this isn't that I'm disappointed in you. It's what
I'm not angry, son.
It's what have you done with your time? What have you been done with the opportunities you've been given? Listen, it's 2025. Audiences demand more than just something that's visually stunning. They deserve something that's an interesting story, interesting characters. Listen, I know we've reviewed Titanic twice, so I know we're biased, but let's look back at Titanic.
Almost thrice. It had characters. It had stakes. You cared about the characters. I was invested. It left you asking questions of more important human events of like hope and tragedy and how we come over and conquer that. So listen, you and I live in a similar geographical area. We had to drive to the city to see it in a canvas that was representative of you need to see Avatar in. And so I bootlegged it on a smartwatch.
Watched it on an iPad in a bus stop.
Yeah.
My whole drive home, and I'm being honest, James Cameron, this is for you. I was so upset.
Because we know you are watching.
I was so upset. I was upset that I spent money to see this. I was upset that I spent my time to see this. I'm upset that what it says about society, that the first two films have cleared $1 billion and this one will probably do no different. Like, it upsets me what that means. And I think ultimately, to just kind of wrap this up, I just think of what could have been when James Cameron has spent 25 years of his professional life.
It's currently sitting just under 800 million worldwide.
And it's still clicking away.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, like you're saying, it's not that far from a bill. You've spent 25 years of your professional life on this series, and it's not even a trilogy because we know there's going to be more. Brady, I just can't even imagine what he would have done with his time if he had concentrated on other stuff. I know it's very coincidental. Just recently, it has been confirmed that his next non-Avatar film is Ghosts of Hiroshima, and I am so intrigued to see what he'll do with it just because of the stories he's told in non-Avatar movies before, and with something in the context of Oppenheimer and the nuclear bomb and kind of human stories that are kind of making us ask bigger questions. I'm so excited for him to do something else, but then it also makes me think, dude, what have you been wasting your last 25 years on? It's kind of like the son that the metaphorical son that parents have that is in the basement smoking pot and doesn't have a job. And it's like, okay, you haven't killed anybody. You're not a murderer, but you could have done more with your life. Like, you could have had a job. You could have been happy. And so honestly, just what have we been doing for the last 25 years? And the thing I'll wrap it up on is the stuff that was around when he first started this trilogy, like iPads with a wheel click.
There's going to be 5 films, just so you know.
I know. But, Windows XP was the hot to trot thing back then. Mm-hmm. MySpace was the social media platform of choice. Just for the context of that's how long this incredibly talented but misguided director has been spending on this trilogy for now.
I mean, he's been writing and producing other films in the interim.
Yes, but you can't argue that the lion's share of his time, consuming his time, has been this series.
Well, sure.
And that's what I'm saying. It's just, you only have so much time to go around, and it's consumed. Like, if he had just been dedicating his time to other projects in that universe of film watching, I think I would have been interested to see that. So anyway, James, that's my hot take. That's my initial impression.
Tell us how you really feel.
I didn't have it with me, but I purchased a banner. It was late arriving, but it was going to behind me. Then it was going to say intervention.
Did you really?
No.
Oh, that would have
been cool.
Phenomenal.
Also, as a side note, this is one of our earlier video episodes. My wife was watching segments of our first video episode, the Knives Out episode.
Yep.
And she noticed how uncomfortable I looked.
Yeah.
And not that I always look uncomfortable.
You were getting over sickness.
Yes,
You were
and
not feeling well.
I think I'm better, but there was so many times where you would be coming up to a joke.
Yeah.
And I'm like gripping the seat going like, just to avoid laughing. So I'm hoping today I can unleash the laugh.
Just be fluid.
I'll be fluid when the cough comes out.
Yeah.
Anyway, what is your initial impression?
I mean, I feel like this is your arena, and I don't even know. What I will say, because yours was
Yep.
intense.
Yes.
And well-rounded.
Sure.
Long-winded.
Very.
So I will keep mine extremely concise. And say it is appropriate that in the stocking my mom gave me for Christmas, there was a pack of Kool-Aid.
Oh.
Because I have drank it.
Oh. Oh boy. Wow. Okay.
I don't think this is leaps and like I didn't walk out of it going, "Oh my God, it's the greatest experience," and I'm just crying. Well, I do think it's the best yet.
Oh wow. Wow.
By a small margin.
Okay, fair. To number 2.
Yes, I think
like number 2 is
it
just
just edges out the second one.
Okay.
I think that a lot of the gripes that I've been seeing about this film online, I have responses to.
Sure.
Reasons why I disagree.
Okay.
And it's funny. We went to go. This would be my hot take.
Sure.
And I don't think it's that hot of a hot take.
Okay.
It'll make Pete wildly uncomfortable.
It's enough of a hot take to create some fire and ash.
This will make Pete wildly uncomfortable. However,
more uncomfortable than the cousin sequence.
It was, yeah. Oh, yeah. It was an opinion that was shared not only by me but Brienne's brother as we were walking out of the theater. We'd seen this film together.
Yep.
And many memes online suggest that this is sort of the climate out there right now.
Okay. I'm getting prepared for this.
If I were to leave my fiance and burn my entire life to the ground and run away with some smoking hot, make me sweaty around the collar mistress,
sure,
it would be Varang, the female leader of the. I mean, the number of guys and maybe women who have walked out of the theater after watching Avatar: Fire and Ash,
right,
with a little extra blood circulation in certain parts of their body. It cannot be overlooked.
Really?
Oh my God. There's something, I think it's the tall, skinny, with a healthy dose of crazy.
No.
That just,
See,
I know not for you, 100%.
Sure.
No, you're like,
Pete
gets turned on by a 401k.
And the Excel sheet that represents it.
Yes.
No, I think just the crazy eyes. She is so batshit crazy. Like, you don't turn your back because you will have a knife down your throat.
Yeah.
Like, she will kill you.
That's hot.
I guess for some people.
For a lot of people, that's hot.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't even realize that was like an opinion or like a trending thing.
I mean.
Yeah. Wow.
And she plays with fire? I mean,
barely.
She's willing to drug you?
So here's my whole problem with playing with fire and ash.
Not that I want to be drugged. It sounded like I was on board with roofing, and I'm not.
I feel like the second film was such a unique visual separation from the first film. Like there was film 1 in the jungle, film 2 in the water.
Yeah.
This one had like 10 minutes that was in a fire and ashy zone, and then the rest was visually just all the same. We saw fires at nighttime at the end of number 2, and that's all that I felt that was representative of fire in this one.
Right.
I think maybe it's just my anticipation that's
or
not
even
so
the
much.
beginning, like the jungle's like burned.
Yeah.
They leave because the forest is like burned to the ground. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not an issue. I think I just had an understanding with James. That was my understanding, that each film would be distinctly have a different visual vibe, and this one felt very similar to number 2.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if that's him misdelivering or that's
or maybe just me misinterpreting. Yeah, I won't even hold that as a flaw. That was just something I was disappointed in.
Now, don't get me wrong. I have some beefs.
Like jerkies?
No.
Okay.
I do have. There were some things
Sure.
that I will complain about.
Yeah.
One, I think we talked about heavily when we did Way of Water. So it may sound like a little bit of a broken record, but this film made me double down on that opinion.
Oh.
But let's work through, because almost certainly my beef is not on your list.
Sure.
So let's work through your list of grievances.
Sure. I mean, this is... I don't know which one is the best thing to... There's some little things I guess I could talk about first.
Okay.
Just...
Easing us in.
We have...
Using lube.
No. We have a whole nother universe.
Yeah.
Right? This is an entirely different planet. We've got...
I mean, it's our universe.
Sorry. It's a completely different planet.
Yeah.
It's not Earth. We've got a completely different civilization and race of creatures that have their own ways. They have their own language. They have their own way of communicating with, getting information and spindling with each other and all that kind of stuff.
Spindling?
I don't even remember what the term is called, where they put their ponytails together and do what they do. I don't know.
Work Christmas parties. You've been to them.
Yeah. But we have this entire different race and planet and culture and everything.
Yeah.
And yet, a lot of the dialogue of some of these main character adolescents, I'll say it's not the adults, but the adolescents is low enough to the level of just being surfer bro talk.
Yep.
That was a problem for me.
It's not for me, and I can explain why.
Okay. I want you to, because that's basically my point. I just find it so crazy that we've got a whole world with languages and backstory and artifacts and culture, and yet they still have the same slangy, crappy, lazy writing of yo bro, 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 bro. That was a problem for me, and that took me out of it right off the rip.
So keep in mind that, so this is introduced in, obviously in the first Avatar film, anytime they're speaking Na'vi, they're speaking Na'vi, and it's subtitled.
Yeah.
Then in Way of Water, because now we were primarily focusing with Jake and Neytiri, and they're all speaking Na'vi.
Right.
The film starts out for like the first minute and a half, and they're subtitling Na'vi.
Right.
And then there's this beautiful filmmaking moment that James Cameron put in where, he says, it's almost like I'm just hearing English. I'm so used to the language now. It's they might as well be speaking English.
Sure.
And they switch to English and the subtitles fade away. And the implication is what you are hearing is just the English translation so that you don't have to spend the whole movie reading subtitles.
It's kind of like what they did in, maybe it was like 2008, the Valkyrie movie with Tom Cruise, where it's like he's speaking. So what he's a German officer, and he spends the first 30 seconds of the movie writing a diary, and you hear him audibly talking in German, and then like it slowly transitions to him speaking in English, so you don't have to
just so you don't have to
2
spend
hours.
The whole just so that, I haven't created this beautiful world of Pandora for you to spend the entire film staring
Just
at the bottom
reading.
of the screen,
Yeah.
reading words.
Kind of like you do in Pandora's Box, or with the Guillermo del Toro movie,
Pan's Labyrinth?
Pan's Labyrinth,
Yeah.
where it's visually incredible. And I don't have a problem with subtitles, but it's so visually distracting to read the subtitles when there's so much visually going on that you're not distracted
I've heard
by
it's
it.
a beautiful film. I've only ever read it.
We've reviewed it.
And I spent the whole film reading.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay, I'll grant you. That does make some sense. I don't like it, but that makes sense.
As is the case with any translation, sometimes there's not a word in the language that you're translating something to. So you fill in with
what you have.
With what you have.
Like bro.
And so my interpretation of and a great example of sometimes things also sound weird in translation.
Sure.
Right? So a greeting or term of affirmation and embracement in Na'vi probably sounds really important and incredible and poetic and whatever. Translated to English, it's just a bunch of people walking around saying, I see you. Right? So that's a great example. In English, that feels a little janky. So my understanding is that the Na'vi kids, Jake's kids, are not saying bruh and sup fam and all these things. However, they are saying the Na'vi equivalent.
Sure.
Right? Because keep in mind, this is all translation. None of these kids are speaking English. Sure. None of these kids are saying bro. They're saying the Na'vi word that is a casual term
Dialect.
of affection, whatever.
What have you.
And the version that we're getting so that we understand
it.
and can put into a mental framework of what is the dynamic between these characters.
Right.
We're getting bro.
You're not wrong,
I know.
but it's still off-putting.
Okay.
Like,
It just made me think of, do you know the show Between Two Ferns?
yeah.
And that Jennifer Lawrence clip?
Which one?
Where he's like, I find this a little off-putting. And she's like, you should be off-putting
yeah.
because you're fat. You shouldn't eat pudding. Yeah. So good.
The only thing I'll say is just, why do we stop here then? Why don't we translate Lord of the Rings and have Aragorn and Gandalf going, yo, bro?
Because
why not?
Because the majority of Lord of the Rings is still in English.
But Elvish, why don't we change the Elvish scenes to say, yo, bro?
Because you don't have to,
bro.
because the majority of Lord of the... And
I wouldn't say the majority. Like, there's a good chunk that's in Elvish.
Because Lord of the Rings is meant to take place in our world, but something like 10,000 years ago.
That doesn't matter. Like, it's a completely... There's probably more in common with us and Pandora than us in 10,000 years ago on this earth. Like, I'm just saying it's apples and oranges. Like, or I'm just saying it's the same. Like,
but Pandora is like 600 or 700 years in the future.
Sure.
When we do have that, right? Where the frame of reference is not medieval English.
I guess I'm just saying the frame of reference is still so different from, like, in Elvish, what is culturally representative of that time and place and dialects and connotations and all that stuff.
And I mean, have you read Lord of the Rings?
No.
Okay.
Well, not recently. Sorry.
Right. So the films are translated into a more layman English.
For sure. But it still doesn't do it a disservice. I think that's basically what I'm coming down to. You're right. They don't need to be speaking in whatever their natural dialect is, and we don't need to read in subtitles. You're completely right. They don't have to dumb it down to surfer bro talk for me.
Unless these are surfer bro Na'vi.
I don't know. So you're saying Na'vi 700 years from now have so much in common with surfer bros that's the most representative dialect and communication they should use?
The translation could be, yeah.
I don't know. You might be right, but I don't know if that's a story I want to watch. Like that's where I
Right.
think what you're saying is you're right. It doesn't need to be in their native tongue
Right.
for us to watch the movie. I'm just saying I don't know if this was the choice that they needed to make for that dialect.
And keep in mind, these are Jake's kids.
Sure, they are kids.
They are,
and I did
no, but Jake's kids.
sure
These are the children of
half of his kid. Like they're
a human.
part human, part
So these
native.
aren't true garden variety Na'vi either.
Yeah.
And there is a difference between Jake's children, the behavior and whatever the dialect of Jake's children versus the other Na'vi, because there is a difference between Jake's dialect and other more traditional Na'vi.
Yeah.
Right? Jake's come from Earth, where he may have been, as a teenager, he may have been a surfer bro.
Yeah. We can't rule it out.
Right?
Well, I think we'll just have to agree to disagree on this one.
That's fine.
I think the next thing I'll say that literally rolled my eyes to the back of my head, and I will just quote it. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. That just, at that moment, the film lost me. I'm sorry.
I think that's a great line. What do you mean?
I don't know. There's just something.
You understand what it means,
100%.
right?
100%.
So the line essentially is it doesn't matter. My hair is doing this like
It looks good.
used to not be an issue.
And we didn't talk about your sweater. You've got a pretty dope sweater.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. No, the line is basically it doesn't matter if two people are going to get in a fight or go to battle with each other.
Sure.
It doesn't matter if you're the smaller one.
Correct.
You just have to have a bigger fire burning inside you.
Heart
You
of a
have to be-
champion.
yeah.
Heart of a
Yeah.
champion.
That's
Yeah.
a great line.
No, I don't know. I think just to me, that line is something I've seen on a sticker in a bus stop. That line is something I've seen on a reel on Instagram. And yet it's in the world of Pandora, of this civilization that's 700 years ahead of us.
Right, but who
advanced,
says it?
a different culture. Was it Spider? I don't
Yes.
remember. Was it Spider?
Yeah. A human.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Now, a human that was born on Pandora.
Correct.
Right.
So he's never been on Earth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think just the surfer bro talk and this line like this are just, to me, it's just separating these movies from something. There's a tier difference between, say, Lord of the Rings or Dune.
Yeah.
Or these kind of more modern. I won't use Lord of the Rings because that's kind of on an island of its own. But like, say, Dune. If someone in Dune started talking surfer bro or said it's not about the size of the dog, it's about the dog and
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, you know what I mean. I think like that would be completely bringing it a ring down from the epicness is the wrong word, but it's like a unique magical world, and it's using a grounded phrase or grounded dialect that is in our everyday life that just it separates me from this is no longer a magical fantastical world. This is just something transposed
Right.
onto a Pandora.
I mean, I feel like we have to acknowledge the obvious here,
Okay.
which is how early into watching this, assuming that you didn't go into it
Sure.
this way.
Yep.
How early into this did you want to not like this film?
It's a valid point. You know,
Because that will make
Yes.
you pick out shit that
Yep.
otherwise would not have, right? Like, because I went into Dune not wanting to like Dune.
Correct. I went into Dune 2 as well going, I'm here because I contractually have to
Yeah.
be. And we both walked out going, that was damn good.
Well, the second one.
The second one.
Yeah,
The second one.
yeah.
Yeah, we both walked into number 2 going, we have to be here. We hated number 1.
Well,
and it still
I
had,
ended up liking number 1 when I went back and rewatched it.
See, I've never rewatched it because I've
Yeah.
just never been interested. But Dune 2 had enough of that power for both of us that it really spun our narrative on it going, this is well done. This is
Yeah.
entertaining. I'm excited to be in this universe. And so you're right. I do have some bias going into Avatar 3, But what I'd say is it didn't have that punch that Dune 2 had to say, I'm going to pull you in. I'm going to change your mind. I'm going to make you think differently about this series. Avatar 3 went, we've rinsed, cycled, repeated in a way. And it's, if I didn't like 1 and 2, I'm not going to like number 3.
See, and that's the thing is there is one of the big criticisms online about this film is that it's just the second one again.
I'd have to think about that.
Now, I had heard that before going in to watch it.
Okay.
And I went in thinking, okay, it might be. If it is, I don't know that makes it wildly different than most other sequels when you really boil it down.
Okay.
And so I don't know if that will be an issue.
Sure.
Now, did I go into this film, or did I come out of this film feeling like, that's just the second one again? No. I came out of it going, yeah, sure, we have another fight in the water with the same boats, and the whale things show up again, like badasses this time.
Sure.
And so, yes, there are some similarities. There are some re-hit story beats. However, this feels like a continuation to me. This feels like it's not unreasonable. If you have a group of humans that are, initially in Avatar, their motivation is unattainable.
Sure.
But then it's introduced in Way of Water that okay, we've gone, the Earth situation has gotten far worse. We're now looking for a new home.
Yeah.
Right. Humans need to find a different place to live. And so that's not an objective that the humans are just going to abandon.
No.
Furthermore, so you've got that camp, but then you've also got the camp that are going like, we get $80 million for every vial of this yellow, right? That's not something they're going to abandon either.
Sure.
So they're going to come back.
Yeah.
They're going to come back with bigger ships and bigger guns, and they're going to try again.
Yeah.
With Jake and his family agreeing to stay and live among the water Na'vi, it makes sense that this is where, do you know what I mean? It would feel, sure, it would be a different visual thing. It might be really exciting, but it would be a little bit of a stretch to go, okay, so the humans are after these whales. The whales are where the water people are.
Right.
Our protagonists live with the water people. Let's make the final fight on the brim of a volcano.
Right.
Right. It's like, well, how do we, why that's nowhere near the whales. Right. So that, to me, that's it. The people who are upset about that, it's almost like, it's almost like in Star Wars, right? The original trilogy, the trilogy that, like the Star Wars films that pretty much across the board, Star Wars fans can't agree on a lot of things. The original trilogy is one of those things most of us can agree on.
Yeah.
But no one's going, really? We're fighting the Empire again? Like, are there not other villains out there? Well, no. What do you mean?
This is the fight.
This is the fight.
Yeah.
And it's a continuation, and it's the other things that are peppered in the case of Avatar. It's the dynamics between, in Way of Water, it's Jake being a father and being a Na'vi and having to deal with the fact that his presence is putting the Na'vi at risk.
Sure.
So we need to flee.
Yep.
In this one, it goes deeper because it's the post, because this picks up pretty shortly after the last one.
Yeah.
It's the leftover trauma from the loss of their son.
Sure. It's pretty fresh.
It's Neytiri grieving and starting to question her own decision in the events of the first film.
Yeah.
Because she's like, well, what have I done?
Right.
I have taken the culture of my people, the Na'vi, which is a culture that we are serious about protecting.
Yep.
And not allowing to be infiltrated by the evil colonizing humans. Mm-hmm. And I've brought a human into it.
Sure.
And even though he looks like a Na'vi, he's not.
Yeah.
And my children are half human. Mm-hmm. They've got too many fingers. And yeah, it's interesting. This film, it is the continuation. It's the continuation of that fight, but it's got, I mean, all of these films kind of have racism as embedded. A story throughout.
Yep.
But this film, I feel like, so the first film, this was sort of a realization I had. The first film, the main character of that film is Jake.
Sure.
The second film, I don't think it is. The second film, I think it's the kids. Right, because we're mostly with the kids in this one.
Yeah.
In the second one.
Yeah.
This film, I think the main character is Neytiri.
Oh.
Because
I would almost say Spider.
Well, Neytiri and Spider, right? Because it's so much of this film is about that relationship. And it's Neytiri coming to realize that blood doesn't equal family, family doesn't equal blood.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because this is a problem that I have.
I'd see a doctor.
Do you... It's hard to tell what each segment of a series does without knowing the whole series, right? Like we can sit down and talk about Star Wars and know what each chapter tells us because we have all the chapters in front of us and we could talk about it. So it's difficult when we only have 3 pieces of the puzzle and there's more pieces coming. What I'm at a loss for saying this movie does this movie in its length, I'm not saying length is bad, but it's a long movie.
It is a long movie.
Does this movie and all that screen time drastically or even measurably move the story ahead from where it was where number 2 ended? And I guess my problem is I don't know if I could say yes, it clearly does.
I would say it moves the story forward, for sure. Does it move the story forward in a way that justifies 3.5 hours? I don't know.
And see, that's where I sometimes go.
Does it need to? I also don't know.
But see, that's where it goes into my pandering of just this being a light show with not much substance. Because I know you're saying, and I agree, there's actually a substance there, and we'll talk about this like when we talk about the goods of this, because they actually do have a couple. But this does seem more like lights and dazzle compared to the actual meat and content. And I think that's a problem that I have with this, because you're right. Does it move forward? Maybe a little bit. But for the ratio of screen time, like, it's incredible. It almost seems like a TV show from the mid-2000s, and that's the best metaphor I can come up with, where before we had these shortened miniseries, you'd have 24 episodes per season, and the writers would be looking for something to fill, because they go, we got to get to season finale at episode 24, so I guess we're going to do a bunch of side quests and stuff that doesn't really equate to the main plot, but we got to do some filler here and there. And when I think about a movie where I wonder if we'll look back when all 5 movies are released, going back at number 2, 3, 4, of going, okay, was this pivotal to the series or was this just filler to get to number 5?
I would say it's definitely not filler. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing to keep in mind, right, is going into this film knowing that this is part 3 of 5.
Oh.
Knowing that this is not even necessarily meant to be like it. I think it works as a standalone film. Not standalone in that you don't need the others, but it works as a complete film.
Yeah.
But it's almost not even necessarily meant to be.
Yeah.
It's meant to be, it'd be like watching an episode in the middle of a TV season.
Sure.
Going, are we in an entirely different place, or have we just sort of inched the needle forward a bit?
Yeah.
Well, probably inched the needle forward a bit, but that's the point.
Yeah.
When we look at it, in that question, Jake and his last remaining son, in a very different place at the end of this film than when they started. Their relationship has undergone huge change.
Sure.
His son has proven himself to Jake. Jake is in awe of his son with the way that he like strong arms and extorts the council into letting, not the council, but you know what I mean, into giving him an audience and letting the whales
doing his last appeal of just please listen.
Yeah. So very different place. Neytiri, very different place from the start of this film to the end of this film.
Yeah.
Right? She has gone from not only grieving the loss of her son. Now, she's not over that. She's not like, whatever, dumb kid anyways.
No. No.
But she is gone from a place of, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't like or trust this spider kid because all humans are bad.
Yeah.
To, no, Spider is family. And
dug her heels a little bit on the way.
Yeah, sure.
Took a couple seconds too long. Luckily, Jake was on the same page. He just didn't know it.
Yep. But I think those like that, the scenes on the beach of like, we have to kill him. I'm gonna go kill him. Like, to me, that was intense.
It was.
Those are great moments. Grace is in an entirely different place from the start of this film. The Sigourney Weaver's daughter's character, right? We're realizing, there's something, we're slowly having the layers of what is up with this girl peeled back for us. We've now...
I don't know. I need to try and not just be someone who's so sour on this movie because I don't like this movie, but I feel like this is the time to bring this up.
Okay.
Because we will talk about characters in a good light. We're not going to talk about them now because I actually think there's some really good aspects of characters, both portrayal, but also where they are in the story. So we won't touch that now. I'm saying there's good things to come with that. But a problem with the characters, some in particular, but just overall, is I have no stakes in this. There are no stakes.
That's interesting.
Because literally anyone can die. People have died in this series, and they are rewritten in due to DNA splicing, due to, it's not just happened once. There's been 2 characters that I can think of that have died. And then some rendition of them has been brought back in different ways.
Grace and the Colonel.
Yeah. Like that to me, just absolutely like there's rules of this universe. That's fine. And there is no consequences. Everyone in any scene could get run over by a bulldozer and lit on fire. And James Cameron will find a way to write them back into the following scene.
I mean, I don't know if that's true, just because...
I know there's some hyperbole there. I know
the son's dead.
Sure.
And didn't come back.
Didn't we see him in a flashback when they were all tapped in?
They're able to go visit him and all the other as a part of their what? So
no stakes. Like who gives a
He's dead though.
Is he though? We still get to visit him. Like where's the
so okay, but hang
you know
on.
what I mean? Like that's what I'm just saying.
I do and I don't, just because it feels like one of your big complaints
sure
is this feels too much. This doesn't feel Elseworld enough. It doesn't feel inventive enough. It doesn't feel. It feels too much like the world that I live in right now.
Sure.
And then James Cameron introduces some, like, an entirely different afterlife, an entirely different, like, does some rich, not the world we live in, world building. And your response is, what is this shit?
I don't know. I would say it's not rich, and that's just my opinion. I don't think... Listen, spoiler alert to Lord of the Rings, skip ahead 30 seconds. I don't have a problem with Gandalf the White because it's earned. What happens to Gandalf the Grey, and then what happens... Look, I'm just saying in storytelling and other world building and magical universe stuff, I'm not saying we have to comply to the rules of the world, but there has to be consequence. So when stuff happens with Gandalf the Grey, our characters are reeling and like, this is traumatic. We're all sad. We all have to face the consequences. With this, like, we're 3 movies in and characters have come back and we've written ways to keep Sigourney Weaver around because we like her, and just, it doesn't feel earned. It doesn't feel like they're like, it just feels like they're ex machinaing, like, just ways to create and invent characters to come back and just keep turning up like a unlucky penny.
I mean, yeah, but there's a big difference between, at least for me,
sure,
there's a big difference between a character coming back,
okay,
and if we swim underwater and connect ourselves to the roots of the tree, which is already world building that's been
that's established.
The magic and power that is these trees, and the importance and the afterlife and their
what
God
made
and
Pandora unique is part of that. I will grant you that one.
There's a big difference between, like, so for example,
sure,
none of the children you have, because that's grim.
Yep.
Hypothetical child. I'm adding
dog. Just say dog. Just say dog, because I don't want to go down that road. That's just a me thing. I know what you're saying. But
sibling that you don't have.
Sure.
Right.
Yep.
Some sibling that you never had.
Yep.
Dies.
Sure.
Horrible. Yep. Snowblower accident.
But
wow.
You
might be the one that dies.
Yeah, let's hope not.
But so anyways, right? So that dies.
Yep.
And there's a way that you can, at night when you go to sleep or whatever, you're able to visit them in your dreams every night.
Yep.
Which is really no different, like
than a memory or
a memory. I mean, this is a little different because they actually are visiting the spirit of.
Yeah.
But you know, basically, what you're saying right now feels like the equivalent of, well, Star Wars has got no stakes because they just come back as Force ghosts and give us advice and give us the person's gone. Like they are dead.
So I'll grant you
they're not going to grow old.
I'll grant you
hug them.
I'll grant you that one of the memory of the past loved ones. So I'll grant you one of the 3 being grounded in that universe and storytelling.
Yeah.
Bringing back Sigourney Weaver and Stephen Lang, that is just lazy storytelling for me. That's my opinion.
But it's not like Grace's character. It's not like Sigourney Weaver's character is there's something to that, right? She's kind of a clone, but she's also not. To me, that's one of the more intriguing mysteries.
Did you find that scene where that revelation came to be on the rock?
Yeah.
I shrugged my shoulders and ate more popcorn. Like, I was not at all the stakes.
Well, you're a popcorn addict.
Well,
so
I'm seeing help about it.
Yeah. Well, I would stop putting heroin on it.
That's
probably the first.
Who's to say? But that scene had 0 stakes for me, and I think that was just indicative of just how forced that whole aspect came in, and it was just kind of a second thought of like when they revealed it and this character finding out about it, I was like, oh yeah, I guess that was something I was supposed to care about.
So hot take.
Sure.
I felt like, so anyways, and I think the whole world is in a different place than when we started the film.
Sure.
We've got a glimpse of their god. We've, right? Like the big face that kind of turns and looks at us that she's able to, like she finally breaks through and makes a connection with.
Yeah.
And so there's so many undertones throughout this whole film.
Sure.
There was a moment where I realized that this film had more stakes. This franchise had more stakes than most of the films that I've seen in a very long time, and it excited me.
Oh, wow.
And that was in the final fight between Jake and the Colonel.
Yep.
Up on the floating rocks in the sky vortex thing that's happening. And I had a moment where I was like, you know, Neytiri has always sort of been a main player here.
Sure.
Is given all sorts of opportunities for badass in this film.
Yep.
Jake's kids and Spider all play are being built up and built into as characters to be very important in this story.
Yeah.
So there's a there's a moment when Jake and the Colonel are dueling it out up on this rock.
Near the end, yeah.
Where I realized I don't know that Jake is in part 4. I don't. Right? There was a moment where I was like, it's not like, don't kick the cameras, you bastard.
Listen, you're worried if Jake's going to be in part 4. I don't know if we're going to be in part 4.
There's a moment where I'm like, it's not like if they, like, at this point, Jake is very much the main character of the first one.
Yeah.
But not so much. He's still a main character in part 2 and 3.
But he took a
not
step back.
necessarily like the linchpin of the whole franchise.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there isn't a reason. The whole series doesn't crumble if Jake falls to his death right now. Jake might not make it out of this fight.
It's interesting that you say that, because that's not what I was thinking in that moment. Because you're right. In that moment, literally either could have fallen off.
Yeah.
And, the cynic part of me goes, if Jake falls off, what's stopping James Cameron from using some DNA splicing to bring him back in number 4?
Because they don't have the Na'vi can't bring people back with genes. They don't have the resources to do that. The military side is doing it because they're sinking billions of dollars into R&D.
But we have what I'll deem as, we've got the good band of scientists still with us.
2 scientists working out of a friggin' gorilla lab in the middle of the jungle are not cloning Jake.
Who and when did we clone Sigourney Weaver? Like, when did that happen? Was that end of number 1?
No, it's we didn't even necessarily clone her. We attempted to using Na'vi magic. We attempted to take her spirit.
Sure.
And put it into the Na'vi body because her human body was broken. It didn't work.
And then this is what happened.
But there was a pregnancy that we were not aware of while it was happening.
Okay.
Right? So the daughter is, my understanding, is half Grace because of what was happening in their attempt to transition the life force into the body. But the other half is whatever this pregnancy was. So
I'm just saying, you couldn't have ruled it out. If he falls off a cliff some way, somehow.
Yeah, I just don't think he would, because otherwise they would have brought the son back.
Yeah.
Right? The scientists would have gone, it's okay, Jake, we got it. Don't worry about it.
I don't know if that's how grief works.
We'll 3D print you a new one.
I don't know if that's how grief
right?
works.
So the two beefs that I have.
Good. Because I've basically rounded. I think
Yeah.
we'll round out with yours.
And one super, it's not necessarily a beef because I
Sure.
do find, like, I like that they do it because it's an interesting, like, oh, okay, you've taken the script and sort of flipped it on us again here. However, there is something about dealing with the character of Spider. There is something about, because it's human flesh and flesh tones and a person, there is something about his ponytail tentacles that gave me such an ick factor.
Like his dreadlocks?
No, his, like, the fact that he's growing, and when we see the little baby one and it's like starting to, I like that he's got, like, I think that's a really fascinating, like, okay, you've blown open the rules of this world again.
I guess, but there was some,
but just on a person, it seems extra weird.
it seemed very weird. And I did,
icky.
from a storytelling perspective, I liked how he was different. And
still
but part
pretty
of their
different.
family. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he was completely different, like not even crossing that bridge at all. And I'm not sure. It didn't work for me. And I thought that was weird as well.
Yeah. So then my big beef,
Okay.
not just with this film, but just sort of the franchise as a whole.
Sure.
And it's a confusing beef to me.
Yeah.
So to retouch on something we talked about in Way of Water.
Sure.
When I went back, because I rewatched the first Avatar for Way of Water,
Yeah.
and something that at the time caught me off guard, and bear with me because you're going to roll your eyes when I first say this, but bear with me because it's grounded here.
Buckle up. I don't know where we're going.
When I went back and watched the first Avatar, I was surprised because I had misremembered a component of the film.
Okay.
My understanding of the film, my remembering of the film,
Yep.
was that the Na'vi are draped in these very conveniently placed little strings with leaves or foliage on them
Sure.
that sort of just barely cover their nipples
Sure.
and are somehow always magically right where they need to be.
That's how it works.
Then I went back and watched the first Avatar, and I was like, "Oh no! Like Neytiri's got several nip slips,
Oh.
and because this is CGI,
Right.
like those, that's it's not
a
a nip
choice.
slip; it's an intentional.
Right.
We rendered in topless Neytiri,
Right.
and I was like, "Huh." I didn't remember that at all.
Right.
And I was like, interesting. Okay. Huh. Then we watched Way of Water. And there are none of those nip slip moments. It is back to gravity and physics and inertia
Working in our favor.
doesn't work the way it's supposed to on Pandora. And we have characters that dive into the water and
Right.
jump up and down and somehow
Everything's where it
it's
needs
just
to be.
the static electricity in this world is apparently through the roof because everything's clung to them. And I'm not like, oh, you know, there might have been no, I'm talking like these are moments where nipples are barely covered with them standing still.
Sure.
And then they're in some kind of crazy action sequence
Right.
and everything's just hugged to them perfectly.
Right.
And I thought, that's a little odd. But maybe it was deemed that the nipples in the first one were a little too much.
Too much, yeah.
So whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Go into this film, all of the clothing behaves the same way. But then we have a fully topless scene of Neytiri getting rebandaged by Kate Winslet's character. Like she just full on
Yeah.
side and even 3/4 round the front Neytiri boobs. And I'm like, okay, so what's the thought process here? Now, this is not me saying
Sure.
that I would like Avatar more if there was more topless blue women in it.
Sure.
It's not. There are two solutions that I think would make this franchise better.
And this is a big enough beef that this would improve the story.
Yes. There are not even necessarily the story, but just the film going experience, the immersion.
Huh.
There are two solutions that I think would make it better, neither of which are the solutions that we're using. We're somewhere in the middle. Mm-hmm. And the somewhere in the middle, it pulls me out. Either A, and I think this is the lesser option, but still an option that I would be completely okay with, would be if the Na'vi had been designed, if the world had been designed where they're wearing clothing of a little bit, still sort of primitive feeling, but slightly more substance, where I buy that you could do that somersault and nothing's going to pop out.
Right.
Instantly, I'm like, okay, great. Makes sense. Because what you've done is you've removed that element of like these magical leaves. I find the fact that the leaves are always perfectly just where they need to be on skimpier and skimpier, and sometimes it's literally just like a piece of baler's twine with a couple of leaves. No, seriously.
Yeah.
Or like we've hung a vine around our neck for the day. This is my magic top today.
Yeah.
I find the fact that it's always perfectly censoring everything distracting. I do. I find it like, well, that's not how that would like that's a violation of the laws of physics is what's happening.
I wonder if you did a poll, and I'm not saying you're alone here, but I do wonder how many people would find it as distracting as you did.
I don't know.
Yeah.
My other solution, and I think ultimately Avatar is meant to be, at least the way that James Cameron presented it, and sort of the way it started, as a not just a film series, but a pop culture phenomenon. It's meant to be this thing that 50 years from now we're talking about Avatar and what Avatar was. And it seems to me that the things that transcend something from a movie into a moment is more often than not rawness. And so in that case, what I would do is let's not worry about the PG-13.
Sure.
I mean, I don't even know. Like, it's not like human nipples, so I don't even know what the censor board would do with it. I mean, we have topless
cows.
Titanic is a PG-13.
Is it?
100%. It's not an R-rated film. It's PG-13.
Interesting.
Right? So you can get away with some. I would imagine even more if it's blue CGI.
Yeah.
But what I would do then is if these are the outfits that you want the Na'vi to have, don't worry about this censorship thing. Because it would feel more authentic and more raw. And sure, there might be a little bit of shock value there. There might be a little bit of like, but it's just like, because when you're watching these films, there's sort of like a National Geographic element to it, in that it's a primitive tribe, primitive by our standards. They don't use electricity. They don't, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a primitive tribe in a far off place that is foreign to us, and we're learning about it.
Right.
National Geographic. Like, I don't mean the Disney Plus
thing.
No, I mean like the old yellow magazines.
Years ago.
And that was like National Geographic growing up. That was the magazine that if your parents if you lived in a house that was not a Playboy house, there was a good chance there were still magazines in the house that had topless women in it, and it was National Geographic.
Yeah.
Just because they were showing you an authentic version of what it is.
Right.
And so this feels inauthentic to me.
Sure.
And to the same degree, and I think it hinders these films. Again, either, and I'm not saying it needs to be this way, you could give them better tops.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't find it cringy.
Yep.
But I find the fact that they're skimpy tops without any nip slips cringy, because it's distracting, because it's like, well, but it's just not... Like, it's a big red slash of censorship across your otherwise meant to be really thought-provoking, meant to be really, whatever. I likened it, when thinking about this the other day, I likened it to Saving Private Ryan is not the same film if it's PG-13. If you don't...
I'm going to stop you right here. This is all very apples and oranges. Like, I appreciate your opinion. And I think there are some things that were not authentic,
right,
or that were distracting in this film. And for me, it wasn't the costume design. And I think it's apples and oranges, because when you're talking about Saving Private Ryan, like, the inherent underlying premise of the film is a war film. And so if you're having intestines spilled out on a beach, that is pretty integral to having a gripping and authentic experience.
But I mean, you could do Saving Private Ryan, where, because we've seen war films before, where they don't show all that bloodshed, they don't show the gore.
Yeah, actually, I would argue that you don't need it.
But it would feel less raw.
It would feel less raw.
Less authentic, and may have left less of a mark on the history of film as it did. So for this, it's again, to me, it's not costume design. It's the same as, like, if we had a character that had long flowing hair, and then we have an underwater scene, and the hair is just not, like, floating all around. It's just kind of sitting down, neat and tucked, hairsprayed, just as it was when they were up on dry land.
Yeah.
You would look at that and go, that's not how physics works. That's like, something's weird about this. And that's it feels like, on face value, it feels like James Cameron is wanting to present this raw, primitive, authentic world. And then it feels like he's shackled in doing so, because Disney is like, well, but we don't want nipples, right? You have to make sure there's a fern or a fig leaf just perfectly covering all the bits. And so then he has all his animators make sure that there's a fig leaf covering all the bits, which, again, in many scenes, you're like, oh, come on. Like, that top is not holding up in this shot, especially the underwater stuff, because they would just be, like, floating around all weird, the vines that they're wearing.
Yeah.
But then it's all confusing to me, because then we turn around and we have, like, the most graphic nudity in this film that we've had out of any of them.
Right.
So I'm like, what's the, and it's an unnecessary shot. The one of Neytiri, right? That's just added there. We didn't need that. Yeah. We didn't need to see her topless getting bandaged up. And so it's like, well, if you're okay with having nipples, but you want to limit the amount of nipples that you have, they would be far better served in presenting more realistic, less physics-defying clothing than having physics-defying clothing that keeps your whole film family-friendly, but then slapping in a couch drawing scene for Neytiri.
Well, it wasn't
3/4 of the way. No, but you know what I mean?
But yeah.
And I'm just like, it's weird. It's a weird decision.
It's interesting because, I feel like that's not something that ever crossed my mind. And it's interesting that it really influenced the physics, the authenticity to you.
The physics of it hurts the author. Yeah, it pulls me out, because I'm like, that's
But you still
weird.
enjoyed the film.
Oh, sure.
So it wasn't egregious enough to
No, I just think
film.
I think it's a flaw of the a confusing element of the franchise,
and maybe
in general.
And I think just for me, I think just where you and I differ is just, you know, in Saving Private Ryan, I think you could take out the gratuitous aspects of it, and there's still an underlying philosophical, interesting story being told.
Yeah.
And for me, that's just not happening in Avatar 3. So for me, the costume design wasn't the making or breaking point that made it okay or not.
All right. Are you ready to score this?
There's a couple good things I would say.
Yeah, sure.
Cast was great.
Yeah.
Are we like? Is it time to talk about holy crap, Zoe or Natiri's Zoe? How do you pronounce her last name? Saldana. Just her net gross in all the movies that she's partaken in now, being in MCU and Avatar. Like,
yeah.
Listen, I feel like Sam Worthington.
Yep.
Pulls his weight in this movie and in the previous movie.
Which is interesting because he hasn't really, like, post-Avatar, it's not like he all of a sudden had a big career.
No.
Right?
Oh, God, no. But I feel like he does pull his weight in this.
Yeah.
I do feel we should talk some shop. Like, I saw this in, is it D-Box?
Okay. With the moving seats?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know if I need to ever do that again.
Okay.
It wasn't bad. It just was all right. What did you see it in IMAX?
IMAX 3D. Yeah.
And clearly, like, we can talk about this film was visually fantastic.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Like, I will not pull, like, I'm going to pull all the knives I have in this fight out of that fire right now.
Yeah. So, and I find myself now, I mean, we've talked about this a few times.
Sure.
I find myself singing the praises of modern day 3D. There was a period in the mid 2000s where we were all watching 3D movies because it was the craze, but none of us were really liking it.
Crap.
Yeah. There was motion blurriness. It was dizzying. It was not the quality that we wanted it to be.
We've come a long way.
Then there was like a 10-year period where I didn't see any 3D movies.
No.
Because I don't even know, for many years, I don't know if I remember seeing listings for them.
I don't
know.
It
just wasn't even an option.
Just kind of fell off the map.
Yeah. Obviously, Titanic in 3D was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I saw Tron Ares in 3D.
Right.
And I thought it was stupendous.
Yeah.
I saw this in 3D just because it was kind of like, you know what, this is James. I feel like James Cameron wants me to see this in IMAX and he wants me to see it in 3D.
Yep.
And it was, there was no moment where the 3D was doing anything other than enhancing the experience.
Listen, and I'm not trying to put a slight here, but like it was the Toy Story 4 experience where when we saw Toy Story 4...
It was a shit film?
Well, yes. But visually at the beginning, where we saw the RC car.
And we're like, holy shit, is this live action?
Correct. Same with this. Like when you're seeing Jake put his hand in a pond and just, or Spider, whoever it is, like just when you're looking at this screen and you remember like none of this is real.
Yeah.
But dang, does it look good.
None of it.
It's
the plants, the blades of grass, none of it is real.
It's the same with Toy Story 4. I didn't feel great about either film, but visually insane.
Yeah.
Visually insane. I will say the thing that I liked from a story perspective is how they did muddy the waters a bit of who the good and bad. So previously to this, it was always humans bad, natives
Na'vi good.
Yeah. And in this one, they really
the fire tribe.
The fire tribe. So there's some natives on the planet.
They're just straight up evil. Savages.
And then you see some
evil. They're savages, right? They want
to see the world burn.
They don't have a moral compass. No. And so if these people are offering them a bigger stick, then we're going with the people with the bigger stick.
Well, with this one, so we've got the Na'vi kind of showing shades of gray. We have humans now stepping up and becoming more benevolent. So you've got Spider, you've got the Flight of the Conchords marine biologist dude,
Jermaine Clement.
Yeah, like you've got, so like I actually thought that was a well done component of how James has pushed the story forward of, you know what, there's good on both sides, there's bad on both sides. So I did appreciate that. I don't know if there's really anything else I need to say.
Yeah, there was a lot of moments for me in this film where I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Like, this is an interesting change.
Is there a visually one moment in particular that stood out to you? Or just overall?
The one, and this is not a spectacular moment, but the one that it's like right at the beginning of the film. But a moment for me that was like, oh yeah, 3D was the right choice.
Oh, okay.
Is the first shot of Spider. And we see him laying on his stomach in the water.
Right.
And we're seeing him from below looking up. And it's just his face in the mask with the water and whatever. And it was just like part of 3D being so much better than it used to be. Part of IMAX just being the undeniable superior visual. It's not just a bigger, everyone goes, oh, IMAX is just bigger and louder. No. It's a different visual technology. It is a better projector. It is a sharper image with truer colors.
And
that shot, I was like, oh, this is the right choice.
And it's interesting too, just our perspectives of when we went from 1 to 2, there was like a 15-year gap.
Oh, yeah.
So, or maybe not 50, maybe
2009 to 2022.
12 years, 13
years.
As with this one, it was only a 3-year gap. So, you know, to go from 1 to 2 was like wowzers.
Yeah.
To go from 2 to 3, I feel like they were very on par. You know, like there wasn't a huge drastic increase. Like they were both.
And part of like because I've been watching, and this is the other thing about the Avatar franchise that still has me sort of sucked in. And I get that this is not for everybody. This is not for the layman consumer. But what James Cameron is doing, right? Like you talked about, like, what have you been doing for the last, like, you're spending all this, you know, blah, blah, blah. And Avatar, the films, is just a piece of that.
Right.
It's just a byproduct of James Cameron redefining filmmaking technology.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Changing the, like, I remember him, I watched an interview the other day where he was talking about, like we did the first Avatar. And then one of the big challenges for the second Avatar was obviously water.
Yeah.
Right. And how were we going to do the water, and how were we going to do it properly and believably and in a way that was immersive? And he's like, and we weren't there yet.
Yeah.
We didn't have the technology or the techniques to do it yet. So we took 3 years and about $60 million.
Which is nuts.
And just developed that, workshopped that.
We did it.
We just made that.
Which is nuts.
He said, before we ever did any principal photography, before any cameras rolled, we just worked away with tens of millions of dollars for several years to make sure that the water was going to work.
Which is nuts.
Right? And so it's that stuff that excites me.
I mean,
and it's
technically, that's pretty cool.
It still excites me that I saw a quote the other day, and I don't know if it's real or not, but the quote was because there's no part of me that thinks that James Cameron's not releasing 4 and 5, regardless. But
I think financially it's in the bag.
But there was a quote saying that James Cameron had promised that if part 4 and or 5 doesn't get released, he would hold a press conference and tell us how it ends.
Interesting.
So, and that part of me, right, is that he wrote the first Avatar, wrote the treatment for it in 1995.
Yep. Yes.
wasn't able to
do anything
about it.
Yeah.
Revisits it, pulls that script out in like 2006.
Yep.
And goes,
maybe I could.
There's
now.
actually a pretty good story here.
Yeah.
Makes the first Avatar film.
Sure.
Then writes the next 4. Right? There's no script. I mean, there's still probably maybe some tweaks that'll happen here and there, blah, blah, blah. But make no mistake, 10 years ago, Avatar 5 that's coming out in 2031 was written.
Right.
Was written.
Yeah.
He knew where this was going.
Yeah.
And so that's the other part of me that goes, yes, this is part 3 of 5. But it's not just like, oh, he's making this up as he goes and he's flailing around and he's blah, blah, blah. It'd be like sitting down and watching a 5-hour movie.
Yeah.
And then just taking hour 3 and looking at it in a vacuum and going, I don't know if a lot happened in this hour. No, it's part of a story that's happening and evolving. And I do. There's merit to making sure that each experience is a cinematic experience and is interesting. And for me, it was.
Yep.
For others, it's not going to be.
Yep. And for both those camps, we won't really know till we've seen all 5. Till we've seen all 5.
For me, the promise of that big picture is has me excited. Is keeping me roped in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, let's rank this thing. Pete, on a scale of 0 to 10, how lowly did you rank Avatar: Fire and Ash?
Listen, I gave it a 4.
Wow.
So it could have been worse, I suppose. It was heavily got those points based off the visual acuity and the visual accomplishments. Listen, you said before, we'll be remembering Avatar as a sequence 50 years from now. Again, I just would have been content if we had made the single Avatar movie, and that would have been an incredible story as a standalone story, an incredible visual accomplishment. I think that would have been cool on its own.
Yeah.
And then I would have loved to see James Cameron move on to other projects and try new things. And ultimately, you've alluded to this. This is his passion project. That's not this is what he wants to focus his time on. And that's just the way it is. I think there's maybe enough meat on the bone for a single film and just to focus on that and not stretch it to 5, but that's just my opinion. So ultimately, we don't live in the universe where he did other projects, so this is what we have, and I gave Avatar 3 a 4 out of 10. Just didn't really enjoy it, but visually incredible.
Yeah.
Visually very cool. Technically very, very cool. And just, we kind of alluded to this, I did enjoy Spider.
Yeah.
I actually did really enjoy him. And it was interesting how each film does take a shuffling chairs of who is our main focus on this film. And I thought Spider was a really interesting choice to come alive in this.
Yeah.
So I'll give it that.
Cool.
What did you give this out of 10?
I'm going to give it an 8. It's not perfect.
Okay.
I talked about some of the things that I thought were kind of weird. Spider's human, it just seems weird. It's like oddly sexual. Because it is.
A lot of this in this film
was
was like that, where it crossed that barrier of just, instead of just being like, hey, I'm going with my horse and this is how we connect, it was like Queen of the Fire was doing some stuff too.
Can we talk about this?
Which part?
So, weird moment.
Which one?
Weird decision.
Which one? There was several.
Where the Sigourney Weaver character
okay.
resurrects Spider, right? Like does the thing that ultimately begins his transformation, but also allows him to be able to breathe the Na'vi environment.
And opens the door for other problems going forward.
I recognize that within the story, she's having a seizure.
Sure. Yep.
There's not one single person in my theater, in Pete's theater, in your theater, that during that scene didn't go, is she having an orgasm?
Oh.
Because seriously? You need to...
Yeah.
When it comes out on Disney Plus, you need to go back and specifically watch that scene because it is just her convulsing and moaning, and it is the weirdest sexual moment.
That's not where I thought you were going to go with this.
She totally has in front of her brother and her sister, hovering over her half brother, also love interest, connected to the ground, connected to him, whatever. She full on climaxes.
See, I thought you were referring to the leader of the fire group when she connects with Miles.
Ooh, I like that. I like
that manipulates him in that
Yes.
way. And I don't know if it was sexual, but it was he's getting taken advantage of.
I like that because it's always been that the ponytail thing is forming a connection.
Pure, like a authentic connection.
Yes.
Not taking advantage of.
But when what's in your heart is nastiness and anger and rage, she's able to use that connection to strike fear and horror and pain and suffering into people's...
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. It was distraught.
Wrap it up, sir.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. You should check out our YouTube page if you're listening to the audio only. You got to check out Brady's sweater. It's pretty dope. Like, follow, subscribe on all our socials below. Check out our Patreon page, our merchandise page. It's ways for you to support the show and for us to give some perks back to you. And until next time, whether it's a new release, whether it's a first time watch, whether it's just us turning up in your earbuds talking about stuff.
Yeah. It might be Carl and I talking about Bill and Ted 3.
I didn't realize there was a third one.
There is. It was a Legacy sequel. Came out in like 2000.
Oh, correct.
2020.
Yes. Okay, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, we watched that last night.
I'm looking forward to hearing about it. Whose pick was it?
Who do you think? There's a reason why. There's a reason why Carl's the one that cooks me steak. And I don't have to ever cook him steak. Yeah. Which makes me a little bit sad because there's a part of me that's like, I would love to
cook him a steak.
I told him, I said, if I were to ever lose, I said, I would go out and buy T-Rex steaks and sous vide them and then friggin' reverse, like they would be.
I am curious.
Steaks that would ruin your life.
I am curious because everyone and their dog talks how good Carl can cook a steak, and now I'm just curious.
That's not true, man.
Is it the best steak? Like, was it that good?
Carl and his dog talk about it. It was a good steak, but you know what? It wasn't even. It was a good steak experience.
Okay,
I would say the quality of the steak experience was 30-70.
Oh,
it was 30% the fact that he had like. Dry aged it in the fridge and then cooked it and, whatever. But it was 70% just an insane cut of beef.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So credit to Carl still 100%.
Yep.
But also, it's not like...
You're playing with the cards.
It's not like it was a $5 like marinating steak that Carl worked wonders on. He had an expensive canvas and the finest paints,
but you still got
amazing.
You still got to do it.
100%.
You still got to do
because
it
because he could have taken. You can take an incredible steak and destroy it.
Listen, anyone can take a really good steak and put ketchup on it.
Yeah, he did a great job. He didn't perform a miracle.
No,
it wasn't like
right.
I
am still intrigued.
It wasn't like. It wasn't like that girl in the woods orgasming while she...
That's not how I saw it.